What does Albert Einstein, Freddie Mercury, Gloria Estefan, Madeleine Albright, and Superman have in common? They all had to migrate to a different country, and in Superman's case, a different planet. Today we're talking about migration and integration in Europe. Let's do this.
My dad comes from Peru and my mom comes from Colombia. And of course, Colombia in the 80s was a different kind of thing, especially for my grandfather, because he cannot shut up. And my grandfather was reading a book of Stefan Zweig, and he was like, let's try Austria.
Often middle-aged Romanian women who go to Italy to take care of Italian elders there, basically sometimes not even allowed to leave the house.
I don't, for example, go to an Austrian and ask. There's a lot to ask nowadays, by the way, but why can't you just talk to me about the weather, for example? Like, just be normal, you know?
The thing is that it's super difficult to be Austrian.
I mean, who's higher on legislation than the EU? This is our daily dose.
Hello and welcome to Standard Time, our talk show exploring European matters and why Europe matters. I'm your host, Reka Kinga-Pop, and in each episode I'll be joined by inspiring guests from all over Europe. We release new episodes every second Thursday, so don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button and set 12 to 14 alarms so you never miss an episode. On Display Europe, you can watch the show or listen to it in a podcast format. If you're watching, don't forget to turn on the subtitles in one of the 15 languages and tell us in the comments below what your mother tongue is. So the far right is rising all over Europe. Quite daunting, isn't it? Europe has a dark track record of that side of politics. But now that I come to think of it, on most sides of politics, frankly. But the far right has produced the most horrific systematic genocides this continent has ever seen. So why are they in once again? Well, among other things, they are promising to kick all the migrants out of their respective countries or remigrate them, which is taking people who are already part of a society with a migration background and deporting them to some kind of country of origin, whatever that may be. For those with mixed backgrounds, maybe with grandparents from countries where they've never been, what does that even mean? It seems the details are left for later to be ironed out. But there are even greater problems with this concept. You see, ethnic purity is not only an evil idea, but also an impossibly stupid one. Humans are a migratory species and have always been. The entire 750,000-year history of Homo sapiens is defined by populations spreading, moving, exploring new lands, and groups intermixing. There is no true essence of a certain ethnicity, but to make a long and exciting story very short, ethnic populations never existed in isolation. These populations have always moved and mixed and adopted to new lands in the past few thousand years, or, well, virtually forever. So when you try to identify people with a migration background, that's practically everyone in a country like Austria, Hungary, or Serbia. And if you try to apply this to Great Britain, heck, they have a royal family who came from Germany. This whole ideology truly makes no sense. However, it offers a criminally wrong response to real societal problems. We are living in a globalized world and through expedited cultural change, which has brought one economic crisis after the other. Now, these tend to be fertile soil for hate politics, unfortunately. It really does get harder to live together with one another at times when we are already dealing with a lot of stress. And add to that the fact that much of the east and south of Europe is actually struggling with their own populations disappearing due to outmigration. The European wage vacuum has prompted 4.5 million Romanians to leave their country since 2000, which is a loss of more than 16% of their population. They lead European statistics in terms of outmigration, closely followed by Croatia, Bulgaria, and the Baltic states. It is estimated that 1 million citizens have left Bulgaria and 2 million moved away from Poland. These people left their homes because of the vast differences between quality of life, security, and rights between their home countries and their destinations. Who wouldn't want to send their kids to functioning schools? I'm a migrant worker myself, a Hungarian national working in Austria and using the Viennese healthcare system, where I often meet my fellow nationals who have fled our crumbling public health system for better wages and working conditions, only to tend to my ailments over there. But what happens in the countries we leave behind? Who takes up the tasks and who will form communities? Who can our parents rely on when we're away trying to make something of ourselves? And where will our kids belong? The discussion is filled with angst about incoming migrants taking up space, jobs, benefits, but our countries desperately need these incoming people to sustain these systems in the first place. Yes, we do have a hard time with migration and integration in European countries, and denying it would just worsen matters. But why don't we try to talk about it a bit more in depth and with an interested ear? Why are we having parallel societies in the same city? What's happening with second-generation migrants? Why are they having so much trouble feeling like they belong? I have 3 colleagues with me today to yammer all about it. Merve Akiel is the art director of Eurozine, a native of Istanbul who has lived in Vienna for 12 years. In her own art practice, she deals with gender-based violence as well as shame and guilt. Ioana Pelehatay is the senior editor of the Bucharest-based online magazine Scena No, publishing both in Romanian and in English. Most of her recent work has focused on the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, while previously she covered human rights issues such as anti-Roma racism and LGBTQIA+ rights. Daniela Univaso is a filmmaker with South American roots who was born and raised in Vienna. She is the head writer of the Standard Time talk show and is currently writing for international filmmakers.